Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today I am at the trial gardens for Proven Winners Color Choice Shrubs. And it is a beautiful fall day here, the end of October. This is part 3 in the series from walking through this ginormously huge, beautiful trial garden. I think it's been really fun so far, what we've seen as far as beautiful fall foliage. You might think of, shrubs and such as being a plant that we would be most concentrating on the flowers on, which we do, but also the foliage that has, the beautiful foliage that these shrubs are bringing to this garden is just amazing as well. So obviously it's end October, everything is going through its change. So you do have to kind of take into account when you see flowers that look a little tired, or even plants that look a little tired, that they are. It's fall and they're ready to lose their leaves. But there's just so much color and so much texture that these plants are bringing to this garden. And the other thing I think that's just amazing too is how can you create a garden using just shrubs and have color all season long, from winter through the following year to winter again, and always having something interesting and in color. So let's take a look here through this part of the garden and see what's currently giving any fall interest. So this is a more mature garden. This area has been here for as long as I've been doing tours here at this trial garden. So a lot of these plants are going to be older and probably mature size. So I think that is helpful when we're looking at these plants, just to see like how big are they when they hit in their maturity. So this plant here is the hydrangea Little Quickfire. It is a hardy hydrangea, kind of more of a lacy type flower. This plant was flowering probably July or August is when it was in its flower prime. But you can see even here late fall, these flowers have a lot of interest to them with a beautiful magenta coloration. It's starting to change to yellow, although the leaves are probably going to be dropping faster than what they're changing. But really a beautiful plant. And this is a pretty mature size here too of the Little Quickfire. It's about 5 foot tall, about 5 foot wide. Really a nice specimen for your summer flower interest. The next plant we're coming across, this is the Bloomerang Purple Lilac. This is a reblooming lilac. In the spring, around May or so, it has its most vibrant, full flush of flowers. But this plant continues throughout the summer and here clearly well into the fall, sending out flowers. It does bloom off of the new growth, so to continue to get these flowers, they're going to come off of the new growth. But if you look closely, just kind of panning over this plant, there is a lot of flowers on here for a lilac to be blooming here in October. And let's see if these are fragrant. They are. They're just as fragrant as the spring blooms. So enjoy a lilac all summer long. It's the Bloomerang reblooming lilacs that are going to give you these flowers and that fragrance all summer and into the fall long. Here's a beautiful specimen. This is a black lace elderberry. Black lace is quite a very airy feeling shrub. Nice dark black foliage. It does get elderberries on it in the spring. It has these beautiful clusters of white flowers that will turn into berries. This particular one here is about 8 foot tall or so. I mean, you got to figure there's some wingers that are a lot bigger, but about 8 foot tall and 8 foot wide, and just really nice airy feel in this garden, introducing some nice black foliage among the other colors that are currently going on. Let's see. Physocarpus, I believe this is the summer wine black. Again, another shrub that adds some of that deep, dark black foliage into the garden. This blooms in the spring with beautiful white flowers, which is gorgeous in the spring when it's flowering, but it's this deep, dark foliage that I think really sets this plant apart. And look at it up against all of the other deeper greens and now turning yellow here in the garden. This plant just continues to stay just as black as what it does in the spring when the new leaves come out. Heading over here to the front of the house, check out this beautiful burning bush. If you're looking for a shrub that just gives that intense, vibrant red foliage in the fall, a burning bush is what you have to look for. Small leaves, lots of them, but just an intense splash of red color to bring into the landscape. During the summer, these leaves are green, so this is certainly a fall color that it has transitioned to, but just a gorgeous, gorgeous red paired up against those taxus back there. Really, that dark green sets the red off vibrantly and beautifully in this particular garden. And the hydrangeas here, I believe this is Let's Dance Can. We'll take a look. Excuse me, Let's Dance Can Do. There was a name change there. This is a big leaf hydrangea with a little bit of the mountain or serrata parentage in it. This plant blooms, boy, virtually all summer long, and now here well into the fall. Beautiful semi-lacy flowers, and the reason I say that is the heads aren't quite as full as some of the mop heads. If we look closely, we can see through the florets, but really a beautiful flower, beautiful foliage. Again, a lot of that burgundy and red is coming out here in the Let's Dance Can Do hydrangea. Did I just say that right? Yep, Can Do. So really a nice specimen, taller than what I thought. So these are mature plants. They're probably 3.5, maybe 4 foot tall, but really looking vibrant for this time of year. And that is a ton of flowers for hydrangeas at the end of October. Not sure what's going on with these guys here. Looks like they probably aren't getting as much water. So I want to show you the full thing because I don't want to show you just the perfect. But if I had to guess, those probably aren't getting as much water or something's going on there. Another taxus here flanking the entrance. This is the Taxus Skinny, Stonehenge Skinny. So it's a very narrow taxus. I'll have to check the height on this one here, but it's an evergreen, so it's going to be something that's always going to give you that beautiful columnar habit at the entrance. So if you have a space that's maybe not big enough for a lot of plants, this one is going to stay very compact in size and always give you that evergreen look that you may be looking for at your entrance. So this is a Weigela. This is Vino Verde. Not a lot, this isn't the best time of year to show this to you, but I'm going to show it to you because this is a new plant for 2022. And if we take a closer look here at the foliage, it's the foliage that kind of creates the buzz with this particular plant. This plant is about 4.5 to 5 foot tall right now, but if we look at the foliage during the peak of the season, it's got really nice dark burgundy leaves, and then it's got that bright yellow center to it. So it's got kind of a bicolor leaf, and that's what really is unique about this particular Weigela. It does get some wine-colored tubular flowers on it, although the foliage is going to be the most prominent thing when purchasing the Vino Verde. For those of you who are new to the station, Garden Crossings is an online company. We ship plants all over the United States. So if there's anything that you see that I've talked about here in this video, you can head to our website at gardencrossings.com and purchase any of these to have them sent directly to your doorstep. This is an older variety. I'm going to talk about it though. It's been discontinued, but this is a boxwood. It's called Wedding Ring. Beautiful two-tone evergreen foliage. The reason why this one was discontinued, I believe, is because it's a very slow grower. So it would just take forever to get any size to it. Very beautiful plant, and once it got to size, obviously you can see it did nice, but it was just such a slow grower that I think that's part of the reason it maybe got discontinued. Here we have some Caryopteris. This is a beautiful fall plant for around the September time period. Imagine this just full of bright royal purple, bright blue flowers. A great plant for the fall pollinators. Caryopteris Beyond Midnight, a great fall selection. And the reason mostly I came over here, because this really caught my eye as we were in another garden, was the proudberry bush. I just cannot talk enough about the proudberry bush. I have 2 of them in my yard at home. I have some at the greenhouse that we recently planted. And I think this is just one of those under talked about shrubs. The beautiful bubblegum pink berries that this gets in the fall leading into winter, if they're still there, if the birds haven't eaten them yet, are just really fascinating and unique. A lot of color. They have little white flowers later on in the summer, and then those white flowers turn into these beautiful, beautiful pink berries. So when this plant is in its flowering state, it's a pollinator's dream. A lot of pollinators are all over it, and it's really fun to watch as it transitions from flower state to the berry state, because it's in color for so long, especially for a summer heading into the fall type of a plant. So the simple carpets or coralberry gets about 3 to 4 foot tall. So these are definitely mature specimens here. Hardy in zones 3 to 7. So those of you that are in a cooler climate, this is a cool loving shrub. It's deer resistant, also makes a great cut flower, can grow in full sun to part shade locations. And it's just it's a native plant. So if you're looking to plant and kind of grow your native garden, this is a great selection for it. And the other thing is when you plant this from a small plant, you'll have berries already that first year. So it's certainly one of those that's quick to berry up and really a unique interest to add into the garden. Boxwood are a great evergreen plant. Here is a huge specimen. This is the Boxwood North Star. It's about 4 foot wide and about 3 foot tall. Boxwood can be used here like you're seeing as a specimen, or you can plant them as a hedgerow and trim them and do like a squared off hedge or a rounded hedge, kind of whatever your style is for your garden. But definitely if you're looking to add like a splash of just evergreen that has a little character to it, boxwood are a nice character addition to a winter garden. This beautiful plant here is the Chamiciferous soft serve, and it's a nice mature plant, so you can see just how big it gets. I would say, I'm not good at guessing height, but it's probably all of 10 foot tall, if not even upwards of 12 foot tall, and about 6-7 foot wide or so. It's very soft to the touch, a nice evergreen, and if you flip the foliage over, it has a really beautiful silver underlay there. So something you'd want to plant into maybe a bigger area of the garden, because obviously it does get some size, but it really has a nice shape and nice form to it. Chamiciferous soft serve is hardy in zones 4 to 8. Gets about 6 to 10 foot tall, although this specimen here is clearly all of 10 foot tall, and about 5 to 6 wide. So like I stated, it is at its maximum width right here. Deer resistant, so if you're somebody that's looking for evergreens and maybe arborvitae is what you normally go to, they are not deer resistant. The Chamiciferous would give you that similar look, but with the deer resistance that you may be looking for in your garden. All right, so many pretty little things here. We'll continue on. I see some butterfly bush blooming. Here we have the Miss Molly butterfly bush, still sending off a few little blooms here at the end of October. These plants here in Michigan quite often will die back to the ground. Although in this particular garden, I don't believe that they trim them because they are closer to the river. It's more of a zone 6 here. So I believe most of what we're seeing here is coming back from the old season's growth. So beautiful Miss Molly, I would have to say, is one of my favorite colors in the Miss series. It's just a really beautiful, rich, reddish pink. Let's see if we can find a bloom we can show you. Obviously, there's not a lot going on here for color because it is end of season, but really a beautiful, rich magenta pink color. These typically get about 4 foot tall and 4 foot wide. They are a little bit taller here. Well, they're not actually, because they're kind of built up on a little bit of a berm. So 4 foot tall and 4 foot wide is a pretty accurate height for the Miss Molly butterfly bush. Here's another new Weigela for 2023. This is the Weigela Sparkling Wine. This particular one has a lot of the more yellowy with the deep green foliage. Obviously it's the end of fall, so this isn't giving you a super great idea of the color. We'll pop a summer picture up on the screen. But nice low growing habit, beautiful magenta flowers, and unique foliage that sets this particular plant apart. And I think we'll end right here with this beautiful Itea, at least end this portion of the garden tour. Stay tuned for more coming. But here we have the Scentlandia Itea. Itea is a great shrub with 3 seasons of interest. In the spring, you get beautiful white bottle brush flowers, green foliage throughout the summer, and then here in the fall, this just turns vibrant colors of red and burgundy. It's just starting its transition right now, but this plant, as it continues to go into its fall transition, imagine bright reddish orange leaves like you're seeing here, the deep burgundies. Itea is a gorgeous plant if maybe burning bush is not something that you want in your garden. This is more compact, has that same beautiful bright red color. So just a different option to giving you that bright red color in your fall garden. This is Heidi from Garden Crossings.